Alright there guys, and welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to be talking about why I love the anime Toradora. As I've just a week ago got through watching it for a third time, making it the only anime I've watched across three times across 3 different years, 2018, 2019 and 2020. And I've enjoyed it more and more every single time I've watched it. But not only that, it has become my favourite romance anime of all time. But it's just a great series. So let me quickly explain the premise of the show. Basically, we have 5 main characters, but only 2 of them are actually the main characters. That doesn't sound like it makes much sense, but yeah, there's 5 important characters, but 2 of them are the most important. So first up we have our main protagonists of Ryuji Takasu, a guy who has a pretty delinquent looking face, but when you get to know him you realise he's literally not like that at all. He's actually quite nice. And then we have our other main protagonist, Taiga Aisaka, who managed to gain the nickname within her school, the Palm Top Tiger, as she has a very short temper. Ironic, because she's actually very small herself in size. And she's essentially she's a tsundere. And the whole premise of the show is Ryuji's best friend Kitamura, who is another important character. Taiga has a crush on him. And Ryuji has a crush on Taiga's best friend, Minori Kushieda, who is another important character. And to throw in an extra bit of drama, we have one of Kitamura's childhood friends, Ami Kawashima, who is a model. But this show is so amazing because the whole time you're thinking, will Taiga get with Kitamura? Will Ryuji get with Kushieda? And it's Taiga and Ryuji's never give up attitude that makes them likable characters. Their never give up attitude they will try it, their hardest for what they want to work. So they come up with different methods to try and get the person that they like to notice them in that way, which most of the time doesn't really work. But some of the scenes in the show, I mean, some of them are very funny. A lot of it is Taiga physically abusing Ryuji, as a tsundere would do. But Ryuji always cares for Taiga. No matter what's happened, he's always there for her. And that's how the show builds up. The show's premise is about Ryuji and Taiga trying to get with each other's best friend. But they spend more time together than with the people that they actually like. And it's used as a motive of how Kitamura, Kushieda and Kawashima all realise that Ryuji and Taiga are best suited to each other rather than to them. And as the show progresses, we get more and more stable with the idea of Ryuji and Tiger being together, whether it's in a race that Kawashima and Tiger have, where Ryuji helps her and then gets knocked out, where Tiger shouts that he belongs to her, which is the first real time that we see Tiger show genuine care towards Ryuji, and it's a pretty touching moment because nobody else even noticed that it happened. And all the characters have their own struggles. Kitamura actually loves the student council president, as he is the vice president of the student council. But the student council president had no idea until the very end, just before she left to go study in America, where her and Tiger have a pretty badass fight, which shows amazing animation, the best animation of the whole show in that scene. But it also has some incredibly heartwarming and touching moments, such as the Christmas party. The entire episode of the Christmas party is phenomenal. It's my favourite episode of the whole show, and it has my favourite moment, where everyone dresses up fancy for a Christmas party on Christmas Eve, which includes Ryuji wearing a pretty fine looking suit. Tiger ends up wearing the same exact dress as Kawashima because the two of them actually planned a Christmas song to sing at the party that no one else was aware of. Because the lights go off, and then the spotlight goes onto the stage, and the curtains lift. And then Army and Tiger start singing, and oh, it is just so damn heartwarming. Easily my favourite scene in the entire show. And you guys probably remember that back on New Year's Day of 2019, so January 1st, 2019, I made a video called What Clannad Did Right That Toradora Did Wrong. And every single time, I'd only watched Toradora once at the time of making that video. Since then, I've watched it 2 more times all the way through. And every time I watch it, I realise that video looks less and less accurate every time I watch Toradora. Because in that video I said there is pretty much no build-up to Ryuji and Tiger getting together. They just suddenly, out of nowhere, they confess to each other. But that's not actually accurate, because right at the end, in the penultimate episode, as Tiger runs off, Kushieda and Ryuji go look for her, and Kushieda finally admits, after dodging the question the entire show, she finally admits that the entire time she was in love with Ryuji, just like he was with her, but she felt that Tiger was more suited to Ryuji than her. That's why she never wanted to confess to Ryuji. But I will say the ending was still a little bit rushed. That's something I still do agree with, but just not as heavily as I did before. The ending, in my opinion, was still rushed a little bit, because episode 24 that Ryuji and Tiger finally confess to each other, and then episode 25 and the show ends. We don't get to see Tiger and Ryuji's relationship actually blossom. Like, that's the thing. The show, both Clannad and Toradora's Clannad's first season and Toradora both end with the confession that we've all been waiting for, as the shows have progressed. But of course, then in the second, but then Clannad had a second season, Clannad After Story, where we see the relationship between the two main characters and how it plays out. Whereas in Toradora, there is no season 2 and there never will be, because everything adapted from the light novel into the anime was there. Everything in the light novel was covered within the anime. But yeah, Toradora has officially overtaken Ouran High School Host Club as my favourite romance anime. Would Ouran High School Host Club move back ahead of Toradora if I watched that for a third time? Possibly. But I don't have any plans to watch Ouran High School Host Club for a third time at the minute. But I feel like I'll never be able to do Toradora justice. But I will say one more thing before we end off. There is a scene in episode 2 where Taiga and Ryuji start kicking a drain pipe at the side of a wall because they're pissed off. Taiga, well, her name literally is Tiger, so everyone calls her the Palm Top Tiger. So Ryuji says that he's a dragon, since dragons are the only animal that can be side by side with a tiger and stand by them. So Ryuji's the dragon, Tiger is the tiger. But the thing is, it's likely you don't know what Toradora actually stands for. Tora is Japanese for tiger, and Dora is actually the first 4 letters of the pronunciation of dragon in Japanese, Doragon. Tora, and then Dora, but the agon part of dragon is taken off. So if you already knew that, then by episode 2, you'd already know that Tiger and Ryuji will end up getting together, and that the whole Tiger wants Kitamura and Ryuji wants Kushida was never going to happen. But of course, I did not know that. In fact, I didn't actually know that until after watching it the third time. I only just found that out recently. But yeah, I'm never going to be able to do Toradora enough justice for why it's my favourite romance anime of all time and easily one of the best. You really should watch it if you haven't. But that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, follow me on my social medias, and see you tomorrow for my 3rd LGBT video. But until then, catch you later.